Good morning, everybody. It's April 21st, and here in Lehi, Utah, it is 48 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Celsius, and we're going to a high of 57 degrees about. We'll see if it reaches that, and that's 13 degrees Celsius for all of my friends everywhere else. And there's so many of you, and that's pretty exciting. Anyway, it's kind of like a kind of an overcast day today, not one of the better days. Not sure what it's supposed to be doing. Yesterday it was a little cloudy, but it's supposed to be clearing up and be nicer, so we'll see whether or not this overcast ends up disappearing over the day. Anyway, I'm making my video a little earlier in the morning today, so that could be possibly the reason why it's a little more overcast. I want to get this done. I have a meetup with a friend, and so I've got to get it done and try to get it edited and downloaded for you. Again, this is a video about cross stitch and a little bit of bobbin lace and some life updates and some haul. So generally I go in the order of my whips and haul and then plans and then my life updates. So that's kind of how my videos proceed. Grateful for new subscribers. Thanks for joining me, and so grateful for all of you past subscribers that are still with me. So, trying to think if there's anything I need to do before I go into whips. Any housekeeping? Oh, one thing I was going to bring up. I'm going to try to make a little short Mania video within the next week, and it will just have to be short. I'll just explain to you what my plans are, and due to some situations they're going to be quite a bit different from regular Mania plans. So I thought I better just bring in and show what I'm doing, and so you have an idea for Mania, because I do participate in Mania every year and enjoy it. So that's my little bit of housekeeping. Anyway, I'm going to move right on to my whips and all of that. But first of all, I want to show you a finished object. I went off on a little traveling, stitching traveling, not not regular traveling. I saw a pattern that Michelle at MommaLovesYouGB had done, and so I really enjoyed it and thought, well, it's something I think that I could just finish up really fast. I'm going to try to fully finish it next week if I get a chance. If not, it'll be a little bit later than that. But it was only like about 600 and some stitches. And so I have a finished object. And this is, if any of you are on Instagram, you've seen this, is Joiobyw. And I kept checking Welsh like translations on the internet, trying to see if I could say it right. But anyway, this is something that MommaLovesYouGB actually designed, and it's a saying in Welsh that says to love life, to enjoy life, to be grateful for life, to always cherish and appreciate your life. So I just thought that, I just got to do this. This is just fast and easy, and it'll be easy. I can just get this done and also get it finished. So anyway, it's being stitched on 32 count lakeside linen overcast, vintage overcast. And the thread that I used is a Victoria Motto thread called Crimson Apple. So I think it turned out pretty nice. I'm happy with it, excited about it. So I loved this saying, and also the fact that my great-grandmother is Welsh, and so it's kind of like those couple things kind of drew me into it. So it was my spur of the moment stitching, and I got it done. So I have a finished object. Hooray, hooray, hooray. So now I'm going to move on to whips. And the first one on the pile I usually do is my temperature typography, Tip Typo, and this is by Sarah Hughes, StitchinMommy, on Etsy. She's a floss tuber also. So many of you know her. And of course, this is the one where you are putting down the, you're stitching the colors of the temperature for the day, in case any of you don't know this or are just joining me for the first time. So as you can see, those temperatures are all the colors are like different for different days. So, and it makes up the months of the year. So let me see, I'm going to fold this like this and show you that I got R done right there. This was a pretty typical week in Utah. Well, I mean, when I say pretty typical, pretty like not a wild swingy week like we have a lot of times in the spring, but typical as far as the temperatures. They varied only just a little between like 48 and 56 or so, and that's my colors that were picked for that. So the blues are the colder, and then the greens are the little bit higher temps. So golly, we vary pretty much just exactly like what I was telling you today for what our temperature is going to be. About 8 degrees Celsius for a low and about 13 degrees Celsius for a high. So there goes the R for April. This is being stitched on 32 count BeStitchedMe fabric in the colorway Peanut. It's one of my monthly fabric of the months. And I'm stitching it with the chosen colors in the pattern, with a few changes. So that's temperature, typography, temp typo. Okay, my next one is one of my zombie run pieces. I'll refer you back to a previous video so I don't have to keep retelling what zombie run is and some of the other challenges I do. So I'll let you know what that video is, and then you can go back and refer to it if you're not sure what zombie run is. Okay, this is my second zombie run piece of the month. There's 4 of them. And this is Needle Treasures, Feeding Time. This is a very old WIP of mine that I would like to get finished off and ended. It had a companion piece of a little boy called the Goat Herder, and where he's with a couple goats. So I figure I want to get, since I finished him up, I want to get this one finished up also, so I can frame both of them. And my husband loves it, and he always is asking me, well, when are you going to get it done? And I said, Chris, I'll get it done. So anyway, this way I'm committed to doing my stitches on this for the month, as well as trying to get more in too. So anyway, that's what I worked on this week. Oh, this one, I think you can find it like in eBay. It's been long out of print. In fact, I don't even know if Needle Treasures still exists as a company. It might. You could check that too. But I know you can find it on eBay, and it doesn't cost all that much. It's not like one of these out of sight charts. And I've seen a lot of other Hummel charts there too. So this is on one of my scroll frames, and the top of it's all finished. When I get the chickens done, I will pull the whole scroll frame, I'll take the whole thing down and you can see more of it. What I accomplished this week, last week I did not have anything of this chicken here done except for his head. So I did quite a bit. I did down, I think I finished down to about there on him. So I did all of this and all the way up there to start his tail. So I was trying to decide whether I was going to start with this chicken and maybe work on his head, or if I was going to start on this and try to do that. I ended up, when I pulled it up, feeling more like doing the other chicken and its tail. So that's what I ended up doing. I got 410 stitches done on this, so I was happy with my progress. And this is just a kit, of course, so it's the kit floss and the kit threads. I didn't change anything out. This poor thing has been on the scroll frame for so long. I'm getting little marks and spots on it, so I'm gonna have to get this done so it doesn't get any dirtier. But every time I pick it up, though, I do enjoy it, so it's been fun. Brings back memories, and so yeah, it's been fun. Okay, so that's that one. Let's see what's next. Okay, my next one is the Linen and Threads Mystery Cell, Talavera. A lot of you really like this. This is what is finished to so far, according to our months. It's a monthly cell, a mystery cell, where you don't know what's gonna be shown next. Though I'm assuming, and I'm sure it's probably gonna be one of these blocks, either that or maybe they'll figure out something to fill in here. Possibly, it'll be interesting, because that would probably be another month too. So anyway, oh, this too, you can join this anytime because it's free. So if you go to Linen and Threads site, which I think you just type in Linen and Threads, it'll come up. And, you know, you can join it anytime. You can download the patterns free. So. This week I continued working on my strips. They were the March part of the mystery. And sometimes Linen and Threads does that, and they end up making it to where there's quite a bit of work to do. So as you can see, if that was March, all three of those strips is quite a bit of stitching. So I did not finish it in March. So I went back when April came. I did the April block to make sure I got it done, and then I had just barely started on these. I had done one completed rotation. I mean, one completed little area there. Is all I did last week. So from there on down is what I got accomplished this week. I'm pleased with that. It's 1,000+ stitches. It's amazing how each one of those little motifs, I call them, little sections, is how many stitches it is. So 1,000+ stitches is great. I just worked on it an hour a day for my daily 30. They call it daily 30, but a lot of times I work about an hour instead of 30 minutes. So anyway, that's what I got done. So we'll do it next week and get down maybe another couple, hopefully, and just keep progressing. I'll take this out of the frame probably next time and show you. But the other border is done all the way. This is being stitched on 32 count. This is a white even weave Lugana, and it's just Zweigart based. And these are my chosen colors to, you know, the bright colors that go along with Talavera Spanish pottery. And everybody can pick whatever. If you happen to go on to Instagram's Linen and Thread, hashtag Linen and Thread Cell 2021, I think, or just type in Linen and Thread Mystery Cell 2021. You will see some amazing color combinations if you just want to look. It's just, there's just amazing stuff. So this is 2 or 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads. Well, it's been a fun piece. Okay, what's my next one? Oh, the cat reflection sampler. I did quite a bit of work on this this week. This is a Peruvian Flair Etsy pattern, and she has some fun Peru-based cross stitch. This I'm doing with a mystery fabric that I found. In my stash, kind of a natural linen. And last week I only just had most of the cat done, the top one. So his reflection is now done, as you can see. That was kind of freaky stitching that part. I didn't turn it upside down like some people would do. I just wanted to just stitch it regular, straight down. So, and it was kind of freaky because I was going, is this really looking like the reflection? But it was. Just stitched it according to what the chart said, and it turned into its reflection. So I'm happy with that. I think how many stitches did I get into this? I got 875 stitches with this. So that's with the other half of that cat and then the whole other reflection of him. So I'm really happy with that. This is a fast stitch. It just goes real easy. It's fun to do. Oh, and the DMC, I use DMC for the color. It's 815. 815 is kind of a burgundy red. It's used a lot of times with red work in quilting. So, and this is 2 floss threads over 2 fabric threads. Okay, my next one is one of my full coverage. I'm working on the full coverage bookcase challenge. And one of the choices out of the 3 children's books, because it's children's books this month, was something that was whimsical. So I chose Ariadne here, who's a Heaven and Earth design. She seemed pretty whimsical to me. The little fairy with her cat cross-stitching. This is my oldest full coverage, the very first one I started. So it has 2 finished pages from before I ever had Pattern Keeper. And then I got burned out and never picked it up again until I got Pattern Keeper and then started up again. Before was just this amount right here. So what I finished this last week is all this under here and this funny little point out there because of there's a lot of there's not a lot of confetti in this part, but there's like shadings of colors. So I picked a particular color and worked on it the whole time. I got about, let me see, 343 stitches in. I would have liked more like 600, but this week was a busy week and didn't have the time for that. But I'm happy with the 343 that I got. This is, of course, a gridded even weave, 25 count, and I'm doing 1 floss thread over 1 linen thread, full cross. So that is Ariadne. My other full coverage that I worked on, that I managed to get my full week stitches on, is the Lacemaker by Artecy. This is my 21,000 stitches in 2021 that I hope to get done. I did 447 stitches in it this week. Again, this is one that is hard to see any progress and probably looks pretty dull and boring. But to me, I'm happy with it because I keep moving on and eventually we'll get past the sky. In this case, I ended up working mostly on sky because my week was so busy and it was really easy to just get, you know, my hundreds of stitches done in that sky. So none of the confetti was done anywhere else. It was all sky. I got 471 stitches, which reached, you know, I got my goal for the week of the stitches that I needed to head towards the 21,000. So a little closer you can see there. The bottom is starting some of the trees. I guess it was like fall leaves maybe. The top over to, I believe it's your right, my left, is kind of a light blue that's showing up where the sky is changing a little bit in color with clouds and white. So anyway, this is also a 25 count, not a gridded. I'm doing the grid myself. That white shows up any kind of thing I do except for the air water soluble pen that I use. And it's a great one because when I count for my 100 block squares and I make the X, it disappears within a couple hours. Now that can be bad too because if I don't keep up on what I'm doing, I have to redo it. But I'd rather redo with the pen and have it disappear really fast than to have any pen marks stay on it. And this pen is just great. Maybe next week, if anyone's interested, I'll bring it in and show you what brand it is. But I like it a lot better than the typical one from Joann's. I'll bring them both and show you. But it just really makes a very sharp mark on there where I can see exactly where my 10 by 10 is, gridding it, and then it also disappears very fast. And I will continue doing that until I get down into the dark, and then I probably won't. I'll probably go to just regular gridding because then it stays on there and I cover it over with the dark stitches anyway. So here's hoping I get another 470 at least done next week on it. We shall see. So this last weekend I'd forgotten to mention that there was another Full Coverage Fanatics kind of a weekend that they do. And I'd forgotten to mention that I was going to get involved in it. And it's called Confetti Conquistadors. And what that was, I'll explain. It was just this last weekend. Is any one of your full coverage pieces that has the most amount of confetti. So I picked up my Quilts of Cape Cod by Heaven and Earth Designs. This has my most amount of confetti, 90 some colors. just all scattered all throughout. So I worked on this last weekend. I tried to stay filling in confetti and just working on that instead of cross country, which is a lot of what I do with some of these confetti heavy pieces. I ended up getting about 310 stitches in it. And again, due to my busyness this week, I wanted to do more than that, but I'm happy with that amount, even though, you know, it's not as much as I would have hoped. What I ended up doing is, in the past, when I finished, you could see the framework of the tree there, and then this tree starting there, and then I had some of this part finished in from before Pattern Keeper. So what I ended up doing is taking the rest of the openings that I had within here and filling them up and then continuing across this way with the threads. I usually ended up doing one thread per color. So this got all filled in except for one little stitch there, and then it continued across there and maybe a little down here. So as you can see, I'm filling in like the blue. Some of the sky, the dark sky, is coming alive behind the tree there, the corner tree. This is on 25 count, even weave, not gridded. I'm gridding myself. And it's a 1/1 full cross, as was Lacemaker. It was 1/1 full cross. So yeah, a lot of full coverage this week. This coming week there'll just be Lacemaker and one other when I go into my plants, not 3. So okay, I have a little bit of haul, not a lot. I have my Color and Cotton monthly subscription. Last week when I showed some of my flosses I had gotten for haul, I ended up putting them on ring, and I decided to do that also with my Color and Cotton, so you can maybe see a little better how it is without them falling out of my hands. And I can also tell you the colors better too. So anyway, this one is Crocus, and I have crocuses, and mine look quite a bit like that color. So this one is Rock Candy. The next one is Bracken. It's kind of a gray brown. The next one is Pistachio. Kind of a green, kind of a brown green. The next one is Buttermints. Then we have a limited edition, kind of a pink with some lighter pink in it. Apricot. Pretty. Delft Blue, Brown Sugar, and the final one is another limited edition, kind of a faded brown. So there they are, my colors from Color and Cotton. So very nice. My other haul with some digital patterns. Let's see here. Some enabling by different floss tubers, of course. LittleRobinDesigns has a new pattern. It's called Clarissa Beaumont 1875. I really liked this with the cat and the dog. So just a real pretty little sampler. Only like it's 100 and something over 100 and something, so it shouldn't take too long to do. The next two are bigger, and they're also sampler patterns from Etsy. I think I'll put that down below. This one here, I know she has a website, she's also on Etsy, but I believe MonticelloStitches is only on Etsy. So by Jean Workman. This is called King of Creation. I like the lion and the tiger and the kangaroo and all the little critters on top of them. And that owl and that tree. I like that tree and the rabbits. It's great. It says, "Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of Creation." And that border is kind of cute too. Samplers I like are the ones with all the animal motifs in. Though I did pick up this one, and this doesn't have animal motifs, but I love the border of the leaves. It's called Friend of All. Aren't those leaves cool? It's like an autumn looking one. And the motifs are pretty. It says, I would be friend of all, the foe, the friendless. I would be giving and forget the gift. I would be humble, for I know my weakness. I would look up and laugh and love and lift. So, nice, nice sentiment. So that's a little bit of haul I had this week. So on to my plans. Today I'm meeting up with Sarah, StitchinMommy. We usually get together and video together and see each other for like a couple hours and stitch. And when we do, I try to work on my birthday start. She also has this one that she's working on too. And this is the drawn thread, Those Who Sing. This is my yearly birthday stitch. And it says, those who sing, those who wish to sing, always find a song. So since we're going to get together today, I'm going to work on that today. And depending on my motivation, I may continue to work on it some. Next week, I will pull it out and show you the whole thing of what I got done. I'm just leaving in this few snaps for now. This is, of course, part of the tree, and then my words are up above there. So I'm going to continue on through here and do more branch and leaves, and hopefully more branch and leaves here. That's kind of my goal for this. This is being stitched on 32 count Vintage Stormy Night by Zweigart, where it is printed like a modeled pattern is printed on the front, and then on the back it's not printed. It's a real pretty color. I really like it. I've usually only used a Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, their printed fabric, which I love for a lot of pieces. But this is nice too. So really like this. So I'm doing this, of course, it's 32 count, so I'm doing it two floss threads over 2 linen threads. So that's one of my planned pieces for this week. Mostly, probably just today, but it will be to show you next week. Another plan is for my next full coverage Fanatics bookshelf challenge. The third book is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, children's book. So that was easy because I didn't even have to think about that. I need to do my witch, which is Maleficent by Heaven and Earth Designs. Story Keep Maleficent. So I will be working on her this week. For those of you who wanted to see my Dark Lady, there's a couple of you on Instagram and Floss Tube who love to see her. So I'll work on her this week. I haven't had very good luck the last couple weeks getting a lot done, but I should be able to shoot for at least 300, if not more. So here's what she looks like now. I will definitely fill this in. That's a given, and then try to fill the last little bit of the diagonal. If I have more time, I'll probably start back up here and start working down the diagonal again. I know this has about 40% done on it. And next week, when I show you, I'll pull up the top here and show you how it's looking all the way. This is, again, being stitched on 25 count, gridded even weave fabric, 1 floss thread over 1 linen thread, and full cross. So, she's a beauty. So, she will be worked on this week. And then my zombie run piece for this week is a new one. I finished up Welcome to the River. I finished up 2 zombie run pieces already. Amazing Grace and Welcome to the River. So I'm now adding another piece. This isn't a Stitch Mania. The other 2 were Stitch Mania pieces, but this time, I toyed with the idea of putting in another Stitch Mania one, but I saw this one and I was in the mood to work on samplers, so, I go back and forth on my eclectic mix desires. So anyway, I thought, I want to work on her. She's not too big. Hopefully she can be a finish in zombie run in the next few months. So this is Harriet Elizabeth Coe. This has some specialty stitches here through the letters and the borders and things and other motifs. So she's my zombie run piece from now until she gets finished. And so she will be worked on every month. And what I got done, what was done previously, the little bit I did, is right here. So I usually start in the upper left-hand corner for most pieces except That's just the way my brain works, except of course for pieces which are kit fabric where I'm worried about the amount of fabric, then I start in the middle. Or if I have a piece of fabric and I don't know whether it's going to fit, I do that too. But most of the time I start in the upper left-hand corner. So I did some of the border and some of the alphabet, which was right here in those colors. I'm stitching this on 28 count Picture This Plus Fog, which I like as a go-to for, it's kind of a go-to natural that I like. Among others. There's others I like too, but this is one I like. And it's with, I think, pretty much all the called for threads. So, and this is two floss threads over 2 linen threads. So it's 2 over 2. So she will be worked on this week to finish up my zombie run stitches, at least 400, which is what I have to do to finish up the challenge. And so, and let's see. Oh, the rest of the pieces for my plans are previous ones, of course. Talavera is every day. I'm going to go back and try to put 400 stitches in Peruvian cats. I better not shoot for like the almost 1,000 I did last week, because I really kind of want to get more on Maleficent this week. And that's kind of, and of course temperature typography. That's kind of what most of my stitching will be this week. So now I'm going to, I think that's it for stitching. So those of you who want to stay and hear what I'm working on lace-wise, I will get to that next. I had mentioned last week that my lace group started up again after over a year of us not meeting. And so that's given me some incentive to get back to my lace making. Not sure why. I just got involved in mostly stitching and mostly taking online other courses, like, what did I do? Some needle painting, some Irish crochet, other things like that. And because you had the opportunity to do a lot of stuff online. So it ended up, I don't know, I was kind of burned out with lace before. So now I'm back into trying to get my lace mojo back. And it's come back. It's really cool. It's been fun to go meet with them, see what everyone's working on for their lace projects. And so my lace mojo's back, so maybe stitching might take a little bit of a back seat. But I'll still have a lot of things to show you, because this is mainly a floss tube. Couple little things I wanted to mention about lace before I go on and show you my piece. I had mentioned last week, I think, about cover cloths and how lace makers cover their lace pillows in cover cloths. So every week when I show you some lace, if I show you different lace, or even the same, I'm going to show you different cover cloths just for fun. Cover cloths, of course, are very easy to make. You don't even have to put any lining in them if you don't want. As you can see, all I did was fold over the edges and just stitch them on the machine with kind of a stitch that, with a pretty thread, so you could see it like that matched. So this was some fabric I found, some peacock fabric that I thought was pretty. And so I stitched this cover cloth to put on my lace pillow. And I'll show you next. Oh, one other thing besides that lace cover cloth. I also have on a lot of my lace pieces a folded dark blue cover cloth, which I also just buy a lot of dark blue fabric, and I make these. What these are for is when you iron, make a crease in it and iron it down, you're going to stick it over your lace, the parts that you are not working on. Then that way it's easier for you to stitch and the threads don't get stuck on each other and they're raised up a little bit. So that's what these dark cover cloths are for. So now on to the lace. This is a heavy pillow. This was a specialty made pillow by a lace maker, by a woodworker that and a lace pillow maker in Canada who has since passed away. And he puts like sawdust in his pillows. So it makes them really heavy, as well as a wood base. So this thing is hard to hold up. A lot of the other pillows are made without the foam, so they're like a lot easier. So this is, I'm not going to be able to hold this up very long. Anyway, if you can see, looks like a glove, huh? This is one of two pairs of gloves that I am stitching on. When I'm done, I want to sew them together into a pair of lace gloves. So lace can be used for items of clothing, as you can see. Those are my bobbins, just real fast to show you. These are an inlaid wood bobbin by a bobbin turner. They turn the bobbins on their wood turning equipment. And these are inlaid, as you can see from if you look closer there, they are inlaid wood of all different colors. So it's just beautiful bobbins. And that crocheted holder there, that's a bobbin holder that I crocheted myself to hold the bobbins so that I can travel and do my lace. So anyway, I did work on the lace. I got a few little squiggles done there. Started reworking on it. So anyway, I got excited and wanted to come home and do some more, but then I had some other commitments on either stitching or grandkids or something else, so I couldn't get back to it. But I'm definitely going back to it as soon as I can. So anyway, that particular lace is called Idria lace, and I'll tell you a little bit about Idria lace so that you know of what I am doing and working on. That piece is a white piece. Here's another white piece finished of Idria lace. There's two doves that I did. And even though I'm showing you two white pieces of Idria lace is usually done a lot in color and color work, which shows in this next piece. I try to put them on felt because they show up better, because lace is open and airy and it doesn't show up very good if you're just holding it up. A lot of Idria lace is just exactly like this. Bright colors, bright threads. So up here on my lace board, which is, if I try to take that down and show it to you, it's kind of cumbersome. So I may try to do that someday in a separate video. But for now, there are Idria pieces up here that are in color, which this kind of lace, they like to make it in color. And a little bit of the history of Idria, where it comes from. I've got this book. That's one of my first books. This poor book is getting pretty tattered. I've done lots of patterns in it, and it's the first book that was ever made for Idria lace. There are now several others that you can get, but this was the very first one, and the only one that I could actually work on for patterns years and years ago. Let's see, the pattern I just worked on actually, or had finished, is in here. It is right here. It's the doves, as you can see. That's the one I had finished. And that's the actual pattern. I can show that to you because I doubt very seriously if anybody's going to be able to, or want to even pull that off. But you can kind of tell by the, like the numbers there, there's certain areas that you work on first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they like sew into each other. So this goes on from like very easy patterns. I'll show you, there's a cute little one at the beginning, a little mouse, and it tells you exactly how to work it. And then it goes on and on and on to just other, other really pretty patterns. So, and how to stitch them. Some. There's a collar. And there's a butterfly. So, to tell you a little bit about the history of Idria lace, it's a lace from Slovenia. So Slovenia is attached to northern Italy. Slovakia is there too. Some of the Eastern European countries. The interesting thing about Slovenia, even though it's very small, and it's on the section near the Alps and everything else, it's a very, very popular lace with a lot of people in the world. It has its own lace school, which is really cool. And here on their little introduction about Idrija says that it's one of the most typical handicrafts of Slovenia, and it has one of the largest centers developed to teach Idrija. And it was started in a small mining town, and the mining town, of course, is called Idrija. And they tried to figure out when it dated back to, but they would say the early 17th century. And they assumed the craft was brought to Idrija by the wives of numerous specialists who came to work in the mines. So, like, that's the kind they kind of said it made a beautiful contrast between the mine workers in black and then the lace making women in white. And what happened later in the development is way back in 1876, which is still a long time ago, the first lace school was created there. And the Idrija Lace School is still in complete functioning now. And it teaches generations of lace makers. It teaches primary school children. And every year the children select patterns from their school collection. And 500 children, it says, are taught in 6 school departments in and around the town of Idrija. And then they even have a second option later when the children are older if they want to do a 3-year vocational training course. And they also teach adults. And they're hoping to keep their particular craft and form of lace going by doing this. And these children, if you look up Idrija and lace, you'll see pictures of these children, and they can do amazing things. Near the end of their studies, they have to design patterns, and it's not easy to design lace. So, you know, if you're interested in seeing more of it, take a look at the internet. It's wonderful. So anyway, that's a little bit of a story of the Idrija lace. The one other thing about it is used a lot in clothing. They like to use heavier threads than the thread I showed you last week if you were watching, of the 140. It is like, their thread is more like 30 or 40 weight. So it's very thick sewing thread. And the reason being is because then they can like sew it onto clothing. They can make, sew it on for cuffs, collars, their clothing for their dressing up, for their culture, and it ends up staying in good shape and can be washed well. So that's the reason why it uses a thicker lace. So anyway, that's my lace trivia for today. So a few life updates. Tomorrow I'm day tripping with my husband Chris. We're going to go out to a place a couple hours away, so I'll give you some pictures of that when we get back. It's called 9 Mile Canyon, for those in Utah who would know where that is. My oldest grandchild, Marielle, she turns 17 this weekend on Sunday. We're going to take her out to eat, celebrate her birthday. She loves Thai food, so that's what we're going to do. Monday, I'm heading to the bush. The bush is the locals' term for shepherd's bush, which many of you have heard of, a wonderful, wonderful LNS. If you ever get to north of Salt Lake for any reason, it is in Ogden, Utah, and it's a to die for place to go. So I will be heading there and to pick up some of my Needlework Expo purchases and to, talk to Terry. I enjoy talking to the owners. So that's about it. I mentioned that I was going to try to make a mania video in between. So all we got left is the daily gratitude, at least for this week. So this says, this is a picture of like the water and like, the surfers have the waves and everything. And what it says is, we all live in suspense from day to day, from hour to hour. In other words, we're the hero of our own story. And the reason why that's true is because, people would say, oh, what's the suspense in it? But your story every day is different. It can be a story you can be a hero of your own story, depending on the choices you make and what you do. So remember to be excited for your day. Live every minute, every day out, and every hour to be the hero of your own story. So, anyway, make sure you guys all enjoy life. Be grateful for what you have on the road and here at home. And hope you get a chance to do some extra stitching this week or whatever you love to do. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.